does kind of, in a way, segue to the whole discussion on tag fighters because it's a discussion that's been led from the back mostly because the tag fighter community has obviously been around. There's still a thriving community of people playing Dragon Ball Fighters. I mean, one of the biggest things online every single week is the Marvel versus Capcom tournaments that are being held by TNS that our friends over there do a great job with. You know, Southpaw Flash, who was a guest on Chatterboxing, coming soon, and as well as Proxy and Tong. So these guys, like, there's an appetite for this, and it feels like Invincible Versus is doing a good job of tapping into that. But also with Tokon Fighting Souls coming through, with Marvel being resurrected, with Arc System Works, it does feel like a second renaissance is a is upon us for the tag fighter, and I'm kind of curious what that means going forward because we can talk about sales figures and what have you. I don't care about that. I'm not a salesman. I'm a fighting game player. I want to play some games. It really does feel like we're just getting some new life breathed into this thing, and it feels really good, BG.
Yeah, it does feel good. Of course, starting off with Marvel Tokon, which I believe we all know will be the leading game of the new fighting games. We also have Hunter x Hunter and then Impact coming out, I believe, next month. Also, of course, just we talked about Invincible Versus, and also with 2XKO, which we're all praying and crossing our fingers has some big announcement soon at Evo, hopefully. So yeah, it is seems to be a new era fighting games. I'm interested to see how the younger generation will take to the tag fighters and seeing how they grasp onto it with so many mechanics, so many different options, playing more than one character at once because it's been a few years, really, probably really since about 2017, since Tag Fighters have really been released on more than once. And seeing if they're going to be receptive to them and hopefully this does become something that we see more on the main stage at majors like Evo, Comic Breaker, CEO, and also at your locals. Just also shout out, like you say, to TNS, who with Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3 tournaments online have kept that tag fighting scene alive. So yeah, I'm really forward to seeing what these games do. In the FGC, and hopefully there is a very strong scene because that is one of the most hypest scenes if you get to watch that.
Yeah, 100%, and it will be interesting to see how the community takes to all of these things that are coming forward. I'm I think that there's a lot to be said that intertwines or interweaves with what we saw at CEO, which again just overall really strong community efforts to in Orlando. I wasn't meaning to make that pun, but it came out anyway. But
You're on a roll.
communal efforts to make these games into the greatest versions of themselves, and that's what I like to see from either my tournaments or from the people that are playing in them. I love that this is something where it can be led from the back. It can just be like five people are loud enough and they have a big tournament themselves and they attract 60 more people, and that becomes a tournament worth watching at one of the bigger events of the year, because you could say that about like a tournament like Under Night or certainly Rivals of Aether too. I think that's really cool, and seeing that still being a possibility in the FGC feels like one of the last vestiges where you can really do that.
Yeah, it is. It is one of the last vegetables. You put it perfectly. And yeah, I just like I said, I want that to be a thing again across the whole nation of tag fighters and not just be Marvel Toka. I think that we both agree that that game will pop off hard and will because it is a Marvel franchise and people love to see a Marvel tag fighting game. But I do want to see Hunter x Hunter. I want to see 2XKO. I want to see Invincible versus do well and there to be a very strong scene for that because the more the merrier. I want every scene to be represented when it comes to fighting games.
Mm-hmm. The world's just a little bit more peaceful when we're punching each other in the face, and that's
Exactly.
yeah, exactly, and that's I'd say it's on brand for me at